session of the day, and post that the award ceremony will begin. So already present on the dais, Mr. Arvind Srivastava, President HR Akums Drugs and Pharmaceuticals Limited, and the topic is going to be diversity, equity and inclusion beyond compliance to true transformation. So with this, everyone please put your hands together for Sir as well. Everyone, please.
So good evening, everyone. I think I'm the last one, so Renu has well suggested and indicated that I need to conclude it early, and let me help you to close this. I will not take much time. So, see, the topic is very relevant for these days. I think it's transformation from, beyond compliances, and we are talking about the diversity, equity, and inclusion. So that is very important, and I think we need to think about it because, see, what I'm going to share with you, it's completely a practical experience, what I have experienced in the last 1 or 2 years, that actually it's high time to move beyond compliances. And genuinely, if you'll ask me that transformation, if you are really want to transform, then it is slightly difficult, and sometimes it needs your full of attention to transform yourself. If you're talking, if you're planning to go beyond compliances. So I will share a few things because I need to conclude. There are so many. I'm not going to present any kind of statistics or data, but will share something which I think that would be useful for you to. So first of all, that question arises that why we need to go beyond compliances. Why? So if you'll see that compliances, if you'll talk about, 2 years back, I think when we used to use these kind of 3 terms, then it was coming in mind that we need to use, as a HR, we need to bring into people agenda, or somewhere we need to be social compliant by using these 3 words. But now it's over. We have already started, and somehow we have achieved. But if we are doing merely for the compliances, that I think you will not be able to achieve what you have planned for the organization as a HR strategy. And somehow I feel that these days, when we talk about inclusion, we talk about equity, I think every level, whether it is blue-collar workforce or white-collar workforce, they talk about it. We have been using AI in a different field, and especially at shop floor. And you'll not believe that every operator used to ask me that how I am included into that, in this implementation. And we need to plan, otherwise you lose those resources. So one is, if you want to implement those strategy, HR strategy, and what you have shown, that would be part of KRA, KPIs of each and every individual in your organization, then you need to go beyond compliances. Second thing, which coming in my mind, that it would be, if you're not following it in letter and spirit, that would be superficial only. And there are so many things which is linked with this, whether it is retention, whether it is giving authority or training to the new generation, or bringing new talent into the system. I think that would be only superficial if you're not doing it in practice. So it is the time to move from knowing to doing. Third one is, it has a long-term benefits. I have practically experienced that, and there are certain data in our company we'll talk about. It has a long-term benefits. It may be, it's morely more with the HR practices, but somehow there are long-term benefits when you are doing it religiously, and somehow you are doing it on your day-to-day. I mean, there are certain measures you can check it, that whether the other people, other employees of your organization are doing this, but you have, because in HR, I think you need to monitor it regularly because you're custodian of those practices and policies. So in day-to-day activities means that you need to take care of them when you are hiring people, when you are giving any kind of reward to these people, and promoting anyone for the next level. I think you can take care of that. Few things which is very important when you are planning to do it rigorously. One is leadership commitment, and that it should be top driven, because unless you not be able to do that. Second one is it needs cultural change. I mean, every day, I mean, it should be a day-to-day activity, and more or less it should be part of your core values actually. Otherwise, you'll not be able to do that. As I have said, that n number of activities which is not being measured in your organization, I think you need to make it measurable, and somehow you can put certain controls and metrics to that so that you can easily assess that are we following it rigorously, or otherwise, I mean, that would be a great challenge for you. Inclusion also, when we have done this in our organization, then you can make small CFTs, cross-functional team, for very, very small activities even. For example, if you are organizing any kind of event, then you can include those people from your team, and then you can plan. And it's not only limited to your day-to-day engagement, but somehow I think if you are planning anything for new inductees or those who are in the job, I think you can include for, I mean, you can also create some cross-functional team to monitor that. One more important thing, which is related with continuous learning. I think it is very, very important that it should be continual in nature. And in our organization, we have adopted and we have implemented it, 3I concept, that there is certain developmental program for inductees, there are certain program for those who are in there on the job, they have to improve, and third one is who has inspirations to grow in their career. So all three categories need to be taken care of when it comes to continuous learning. Last but not the least, I think we also need to take care of this continuous learning part, that somehow when we are able to implement it in across the location and organization, I think we need to keep on have a review mechanism in place that keep on improving on that. As there is a saying that do the best when you know when you are doing it, and when you know better, I think you start doing better. So every day you need to review those small activities in your organization which is related with DEI, and then you can take it to the next level. So continuous improvement and continuous learning is very important in this case. Last but not the least, I think we need to be accommodative in all aspects, that for the people, those who are joining your organization, I think we need to provide certain very good induction programs so that they can see that it's part of your core values, and then they would be able to imbibe all those three words. And when I'm talking about accommodative, it doesn't mean that you have to diminish your space. I think you need to expand it so that the new one can be accommodated well. So these are the few things which I wanted to share. I think it's over. I had to say so many things, but due to limited time, I need to conclude. And thank you so much for your patience listening. And I have seen that a lot of people have already left, but somehow I think that this kind of gathering should be attended well so that we can learn from the others' experience. So that is a platform. I think we should use that. That's the only thing. Thank you so much for your patience listening. Thank you.